just wanted to thank everyone out there for supporting us this last 7 months. We've been here 7 months now, and we've changed and grown so much. It's really unbelievable. And we just wanted to stay connected with all of y'all, and so we decided to answer some of your questions. It's a very broad question. There's lots of different types of people.
Alyssa.
Yes, from Alyssa. Yeah. I think people are very nice, very honest and sincere, very quiet. I feel like they are very, unless you really, really know them, they're very quiet, reserved.
But at the same time, like if you initiate a conversation and if you ask questions, they will be more than happy to talk to you and just just talk to you and share what they have to say with you.
And they're very helpful. Like if you ever have a question or like are looking lost, lots of people will stop and be like, where are you trying to go? It's very helpful. Like our first week we stopped in front of a sign and a map, and we kind of knew where we were. We knew where we needed to go. This guy was like, do you need help? And we were like, wow, you're so nice. You're talking to us.
And we've had people walk with us for 10 minutes to take us to a place. And so it's very cool. Chicken feet.
They tricked me into eating horse's hoof. Did you hear this story? Okay, I was at church and they hand me this piece of gelatin looking something, and they're like, eat, and so they worked really hard to hand me it on a toothpick. So I was like, okay. So I put it in my mouth and I was like, oh, it's kind of crunchy. And so they're all looking on their phones, scrambling to find out what it is. And they're like, oh, it's horse's hoof, as I swallow it.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, good. And I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. Doing another one? And I'm like, no.
So I've learned a lesson. Don't ask what it is. Just eat it. If you sort of like it and it looks weird and somebody wants to tell you what it is, just say no. Just eat it. It's fine.
Yeah. I think yes and no. I think a lot of people are willing to listen to what you have to say and listen to what you're here about and things like that, whether they take that seriously in their own life or just profile as, oh, that's what they do, not what I do.
And they are very curious.
Yes, they are very curious, but I think it's very different than what I expected it to be, but I think they are open to hearing about it, yes.
Yeah, they're definitely open to hearing about it. They want to know, why you believe. I wouldn't say necessarily that, I've had opportunities to sit down with people that specifically asked me to go out with them and tell them why I believed in God, and they're totally receptive to listening to it. Sometimes I don't know if, that they'll instantly believe just because I told them. But it is cool to be able to openly talk about it. That's something that back home, I never really had a chance to do it. People were never interested in knowing why I was a Christian and what it meant to be a Christian. And I feel like people here do want to know.
Yeah.
So that's very neat.
Learned that I underestimate myself a lot. And in Hong Kong, like I've said before, and we've written 1,000 times, we get thrown into these situations where we had no intention of being in ever in our whole lives, like emceeing winter VBS or singing at all.
In front of thousands of people.
Thousands. And so I just learned that I can do things that I think I can't, and that I'm actually not as bad as I anticipate being at them. And so I underestimate myself a lot, and I need to work on that. So that's what I've learned. What have you learned?
I've learned, similar to you, I've learned that I can do anything if it's God's will. So like you said, there's a million things that never in my life I would put myself through them. Singing is just an example. It's anything. Half the things I do, I would have never done them at home. And here I have to do it. It's part of what we do here. And I can do them, and I'm not bad at them, and I get through it. Time passes, and I feel like now I'm more comfortable with being put on the spot and having to do things that I'm not ready for, that I'm never ready for, and that most likely we will never be ready for.
Never ready for them.
So yeah, flexibility and knowing that God's there next to me to help me. That's what gets me through those rough times.
Yeah.